Hey everybody, so in this video I'm just going to discuss Righteous Fire and how I use it in my builds when maintaining, getting that extra DPS out when I want to do map clearing builds and things like that. So Righteous Fire, let's start off with a build. So this build is a Hierophant build, and the way I use Righteous Fire in this build is I got skills in your gloves will have 20% increased area effect. So from that, Righteous Fire will be in my gloves. Righteous Fire doesn't work with a lot of skill gems as it is a degen, so it is a burning thing, so it won't work with gems such as fire penetration and things like that. So it's not an actual hit, it's just a burning damage, so it's just a degen. Okay, so let's just get started on Righteous Fire. So Righteous Fire, to get the best possible damage, will be linked with this elemental focus. This is just the best skill to have with it, and also increased burning damage, so that just gives you a shitload of extra damage straight up from there. The next thing we'll put in here is increased area of effect. So we're going to have 38% increased area effect from that. We're going to have 20% increased area effect from the Hierophant skill, and we're going to also have the increased area effect nodes here and here as well. So that will give it 58% increased area effect radius. Okay, so that's Righteous Fire with the area of effect and the damage. The next thing we've got to look at is maintaining the damage you get from Righteous Fire. So it's going to be burning you for 90% of your life, of your maximum life per second as fire damage. So we need maximum fire resistances to counter this, and we also need a shitload of life regeneration. So just really quickly, we'll start in the Templar area here. We'll get all the life regeneration nodes. So over here, just as we start off straight up, you're going to be getting 2.2% increased life regeneration. Then we work our way down here, and we'll also get another 1%, 0.3% and 0.5%, and then we work our way down here and we'll get 1.8%, 0.8% over here. Over here we'll get 1%, over here we'll get another 1%, and we'll get 0.3 and 0.4% there. We can get an extra 1% there when all our endurance charges are up. 0.8% we can get over there, and later on down the track we can also get another 1%, 0.6 and 0.4%. But if you're not going cast on crit, then just forget about this whole area completely. The only reason why I've gone down here is because I'm cast on crit with this build. You don't have to be cast on crit if you don't want to be with Righteous Fire. I just chose to do it because I'm playing cast on crit in patch 2.4. Anyways, so as I was saying, life regeneration and maximum fire resistances. So you'll get maximum fire resistance here. You get 1 maximum fire resistance here. Also from level 20 Purity of Fire gem, you'll get an extra 4% additional maximum fire resistance. So that's 5% already. So that will get us to 80% maximum fire resistance. Now in our shield, we'll be using Rise of the Phoenix. So basically it's your Righteous Fire shield. It'll give you an extra 8% maximum fire resistance there. So on our character, our defenses will have 88% increased fire resistance, but maximum fire resistance. So let's hope when we cast Righteous Fire here. Now what's our life regeneration? So we've got 505 life regeneration from all those skill gems. So it's not skill gems, in the skill tree we picked up. Cast it. Okay, so we're not losing life. That's a good thing, and that's what you want when you want Righteous Fire. You don't want to lose life. You want to make sure you're always maintaining life. If you're not, then just forget about it. It's not worth doing it in your build. Next thing we've got to look at is so we've got Righteous Fire up. Damage is looking good. We can just stand around and just let things die around us, which is awesome. Okay, so next, what do we want to do next? So what we want to do next is we want to get, depending on what you want to do next, so Righteous Fire will work with spells. So if I have Righteous Fire up, it will give 57% more spell damage, which is pretty damn cool. Okay, so if I just fire up, I can cast Flame Surge, and I can have 50% more damage against burning enemies, which is pretty cool. So when I do my Cyclone, I have Fire Penetration there, I've got Fortify, I've got Cast on Critical Strike, and I've got Flame Surge. So as you can see there, I've got all my power charges up and all my endurance charges up, which is pretty good as well with the build. Now, if we keep going here now, we can test out Cast on Critical Strike. What I'll do is I'll explain Cast on Critical Strike with this build, even though I've done a few other videos on it. I'll explain it in this build how I'm using Cast on Critical Strike. So we'll go back to the skill tree now, and how I'm using Cast on Critical Strike is I'm picking up the crit nodes from here, and I'm also picking up the crit node over here, which is gives us fire damage as well. I'm picking up the crit nodes for the daggers over here. I'm picking up the crit over here. That's basically where I'm getting the crit from. So my dagger I'm currently using is a vegan dagger, so I have 0% chance to miss, 100% chance to hit. My crit chance is at 48%, and with power charges up, I can get that up to 60%. Alright, so that's crit explained. Skill gems, I'm just using trigger gems with Tempest Shield, Molten Shell, and then in my shield I'm just got Purity of Fire, Warlord's Mark, Blasphemy. In the movement skill gem I'm using with this build is Whirling Blades with faster attacks and Fortify. If you can also use, say, Lightning Warp, faster casting and less duration, so you can do that as well. In the helm we're using, we've got Firestorm, we can change that over, we'll put Discharge in there, and we'll have Vengeance, Cast on Critical Strike and Detonate Dead. Discharge I think is 35% less damage if triggered, so it's kind of being nerfed a little bit. So maybe another Flame Surge would be nice. Yeah, we'll just put Flame Surge in there. It works pretty well with Righteous Fire, Flame Surge, because our enemies will be always burning, so we'll do 50% more damage against burning enemies. We also don't have, I forgot to mention, we don't have crit multiplier because we're using Elemental Overload. That's what works well with Righteous Fire, and when you've got a Righteous Fire build, Elemental Overload is a must. From that, we use Ungil's Harmony, which gives us 100% chance for global crit chance, which works really well for cast on crit. We don't have crit multiplier, so we can use that as well. Okay, let's just finish off this. Pretty much the mobs are getting killed pretty quickly. With the build, I'd have to say you could probably make it up to tier 10 maps, but then you're going to have to start spending some currency, man, and getting your character a lot more buffier, tankier, and you're going to probably get a little bit of damage migration in, so you might have to get a lightning coil going and things like that. So at the moment it's okay. This is just cheap budget build, but yeah, if you want to go anything past tier 10 maps, you're going to have to invest a little bit more currency on defense with this build. Alright, so we're on Vol. So when you get up to bosses, Vol has increased elemental damage, which is annoying for a boss when you're using Righteous Fire, or when using elemental damage in general. But what we'll do is we'll put Concentrate Effect on here, which makes it really tiny, the Righteous Fire, but it does give it 50% more increased damage. So let's go on Vol now. And we'll just take him out. Okay, so falls down. So he's down quite quickly, reasonable time. Not extremely fast, but he's down pretty quick. And then we'll just change over this back to Righteous Fire. So that's just a little general guide on Righteous Fire, and that's me using it with Cast on Crit in this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm Lucas D, and thanks for watching. See you later.